Hey, what's up, VC? It's the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem, and welcome to my very first edition of Album Spotlight. Or, I don't know what I'm going to call it exactly. Maybe this album spotlight. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out as I go. But anyway, like I said, I wanted to try this new thing out where I spotlight an album that I really like and just see how it goes. And like I said, I was going to start off with this. This is Stepson. And like I said, released in 1974. And I just want to kind of go over why, one, I really like this album, and just kind of the details about the album and the band. So, first things first, released, like I said, 1974, their one and only album, self-titled. And let's get into it a little bit. So, formed in 1971 in Seattle, of all places. Like I said, they were born out of the band Touch, which also, upside down, which also only released one album, based out of the Portland, Oregon area. They, again, progressive psych rock. I guess you could say they weren't the most successful, but I really like the album. But they were, like I said, three of those members went on to form this band. We have Jeff Hawks, who is right here. Jeff Hawks on vocals. We have Bruce Hauser on bass. And we have Joey Newman on guitar and vocals as well. And later to add on Len Fagan on drums, who, by the way, would later go on to drum for the band Love. Little fact there. So yeah, those three guys would leave. Well, Touch would dissolve, and they would go on later to form Stepson, and they would decide to move on down to LA because that's where stuff was happening. LA was where you wanted to go to make it, because everything was going on in LA, right? So they went down to LA, and instead of playing the psych progressive stuff, they were playing hard rock blues stuff, because I guess that's what they really loved, which that's what I really love too. So anyway, and so they went down to LA, and they were playing the club scene, playing it hard, because that's how you got noticed. And they got really well noticed that they became the resident act for the club, the Whiskey A Go Go. Now, if you're familiar with LA, you know that the Whiskey was where it was at. The Whiskey is kind of like CBGB's of the East Coast. You know, CBGB's is where bands like Television, Blondie, the Ramones, you know, those guys were well known there on the East Coast at CBGB's. Whiskey was where it was at on the West Coast. And so they became the resident band at the Whiskey A Go Go. And so, like I said, they got well known that they got the act of the people at ABC Records, and that's where they were signed, and they released this album in 1974, and voila, this album was born. And you know, they were compared to acts like Blue Cheer, compared to the MC5, Mountain, because of their really hard riffs, their vocals. I compare their vocals to, I don't know, like, because I like the fact that three of the band members would sing together. So I don't know if I would compare, I guess Blue Cheer, but they put it together, man. But the problem was, album sales weren't there. They went on tour with bands like T-Rex and Steely Dan, and I think Steely Dan maybe was one of the problems, is that they didn't really mesh with Steely Dan. But the album sales just weren't there, and so because of that, they were dropped by ABC, and so 1976 they disbanded, and yeah, we didn't get any more from Stepson, and it's such a shame because they had this just amazing sound with the blues, the hard rock, even a little bit of soul because of Jeff's voice. And what could have been? I don't know. They sounded so well. Like, they sounded so great with that, just those guitar riffs, the vocals, harmonies together. But they just, I don't know, album sales just weren't there. But granted, let's face it, in '74 we had bands like Led Zeppelin. We had so many great things going on, and I guess they just got lost in the shuffle, and ABC just didn't know what to do with them. And you know, now they're an underground band. And you know, this record is a great record, and I'm so glad that I found this original. And you can find these. You know, my copy is a great copy. The sleeve, maybe not so much, but if you can find these, they're pretty. I mean, a great copy, maybe $100. But like I said, Riding Easy, they have the rights to it. You can play this on Apple Music, Spotify. You can purchase it digitally on Bandcamp. Riding Easy is supposed to be reissuing this year on vinyl. They haven't announced when, but when they do, I encourage you to definitely purchase it. That it has been remastered. These sound good though; they really do. Another tie-in with Touch, real quick. I just think it's really cool. Don Gallucci, who was the main guy in Touch, played the organ and sang. Was also, like I said, if you remember my last video, he was a member of the Kingsmen, wrote Louie Louie. He actually plays piano on a song on this as well. So there's still that tie of Touch in here as well too, which I think is really cool. But guys, this record is so great, and it's underground, and it needs to not be underground. It's so good. I know the drummer passed away a few years back, but I think the rest of them are still alive today. Again, what could have been? I encourage you to go stream this album if you love hard rock, blues rock, Led Zeppelin, Blue Cheer, you know, just that great 70s rock. This is right up your alley. It's so good. There's really not a lot on the internet about this band, but everything that I found, I did find on the internet. It's so good, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to keep it short. Leave me a comment, thumbs up. If you know any more about this band than I do, which I'm sure there are plenty out there that do, let me know. But anyway, like and subscribe. I hope to keep this going. I'm going to do more down the road. But anyway, peace and love, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.